22 minutes to go for the market. Let's welcome in our next guest. Ruchit Jain now joins us from Angel Broking. He is a technical analyst. Ruchit, Nifty 8700. This now becomes a supply zone.
Yes, good afternoon, Pankaj. Well, Pankaj, on daily charts, still this low top, low bottom formation is intact on Nifty as well as Bank Nifty. So I think from here on, there's more chances that profit booking would come in. Maybe not immediately because momentum-wise the market breadth is still positive. So maybe not immediately in day or two, but later on we are we are anticipating that this corrective trend would continue. Well, unless we cross above this 8750, which is the falling trend line resistance on the daily charts, the parabolic SAR on the daily charts, as well as the recent swing high. So there's a major cluster of resistance is coming around 8740 to 8750. We may see an attempt in a day or two for the Nifty to go towards 8740, 8750, but I think those would be the good levels again to create short positions in the market and anticipate another leg of corrective move in short term.
Right, and as far as any strategy is concerned, how would you look at it?
Well, probably would look to go on the sell side only. I think it would be wise to create a position in the futures, index futures itself, since we have a expiry slated next week. So I think minor pullback further from current levels around 8740. It would be good strategy to go short on the Nifty futures itself.
Right. As far as banking space is concerned, a lot of results have come out. Let's start with Yes Bank. What will be your view there?
Well, Pankaj, recently we have seen after forming a high of 1440, the stock had shown a corrective move. During this corrective move, the stock had shown certain gap down opening. So when there is a pullback rally, definitely these gaps are going to act as a resistance. The 61.8% retracement of this entire recent correction is coming around 1330, 1335 range. And I believe that in spite of today's results, if the stock has not moved much higher, I think 1330, 35 is going to act as a stiff resistance. So I'm not anticipating major upside from current levels. Around 1335, the stock should face a good resistance.
Right. So again, there is no trade over there, or at 1335 you would want to sell the name?
Yeah, one can look to sell around 1335. The stop loss would be somewhere around 1360. The downside targets wouldn't be very aggressive unless we see good amount of selling with increasing volumes coming in. But on the lower side, I think 1270, 1250 is the levels that should be visited again in this stock.
How would you look at LIC Housing Finance? They also declared numbers today, and again, there's no major follow-up buying.
Yes, there's no follow-up buying, but the overall trend for the stock is still positive. We have seen this high top, high bottom structure in this stock, and recently, in spite of Nifty consolidating in a range since last 2 or 3 weeks, we have seen this stock continuing its uptrend. So I think there's no change in the trend as of now. So there's no one should not attempt any kind of reversal over here. In fact, any kind of dip comes in the stock around 590, around 590 to 600 range. The stock is again going to take a good support over there. So I think broadly, even if the markets fall, I think this stock should consolidate sideways, or it could outperform the broader indices. Hence, won't advise to create any short positions over here. Rather, I think some sort of time-wise correction now could be seen in this stock.
Right. So as you said, you would not advise to create any new position.
Yes, I won't advise to create any new positions because I believe that in near term the stock would show some sort of sideways correction. Now it would be more of a time correction rather than price correction over here. So there is no point taking any directional bet in the stock now at current levels.
Right, but names like Diwan Housing have done well. Any view on that name? Today it's seen a correction, but after the results it's clearly seen a big up move.
Yes, the up move I think would be sustainable in Diwan Housing. Last 3-4 trading sessions when the prices have moved higher from 280, 290 levels, the volumes are quite good. So which is indication that even at current levels when the prices are moving higher, the volumes are increasing. So that's a positive sign, and this is indicating that this uptrend in the stock could continue further from current levels also. On the high side, 350, 355, I think it's quite possible one is having a view of about couple of months of time frame. So from 2 months perspective, any kind of decline comes, minor dips comes in the stock, that should be used as a buying opportunity for keeping a target around 350 to 355.
Right. As far as United Phosphorus is concerned, that's one name which a lot of technical report seems to be suggesting is looking good. Have you been tracking that name?
Yes, Pankaj, even this is one of the stock which is in an uptrend, continuously forming high tops and high bottom. And recently also we saw that when this stock corrected, it showed more of a time correction rather than price correction. That's also a positive sign. Going long at current levels would not fetch you that positive risk reward ratio, because if you keep stop loss of recent lows also, that is much bigger than what a short term trader would like to take. So I would advise taking a fresh position in UPL or at current levels, but those who are holding the stock from low levels, they should continue to hold until there is any reversal signs on the charts.
Right. Any view on NBCC? They have a big offer for sale going on. After that, do you believe it can take off?
The stock has a good support around 237, 238 levels. So I think no, I don't think there's a much greater upside. I don't think there's much downside from current levels. There's a good support coming in around 237, 238. So any dips towards those support levels should be used as a buying opportunity. Now this stock, Pankaj, if we observe, then recently has shown a lot of volatility after a consolidation phase. So I think going ahead also the volatility would be there in this stock. It's not that the stock is going to remain sideways or it's going to go up gradually, but definitely within this volatility, whenever there are corrective moves towards the support, those corrective moves should be used as buying opportunities.
What is your view on Vedanta? Let's start with Vedanta and then look at other metal names. That's been one sector that has clearly done well, and after today's 5% move, how would you look at Vedanta Limited?
Well, we have been maintaining our positive view in this stock. In fact, the recent up moves definitely seems to be an impulsive one, which indicates that the stock is in an uptrend. Now, the only caveat over here is that if you observe the longer term charts, then the last entire corrective move which was there on the monthly charts from July 2014, I think it corrected from 297 to the low of 58 levels. So 61.8% retracement of that entire corrective move on the long term charts, it's somewhere coming around 206, 207 where the stock is currently trading now. So in case in a day or two, if it manages to go above this 61.8% retracement also, then I think this uptrend would continue towards its next resistance level, which would somewhere come around 220 to 226 zone. So I'm maintaining positive bias in this, but definitely if anyone is looking from short-term trading perspective, let the stock sustain further this 206 above this 206 resistance for another day. I think then one can look at creating fresh positions.
Right. And any view on Hindustan Zinc? That's a name that has not done that well.
Probably in today's session we did see some good amount of gap up opening, but again, there is no follow-up buying post a gap up opening, which is not a positive sign. We have seen good amount of volumes in today's session when the prices have gone down after from their opening levels. So in case the stock is unable to cross this 260 to 263, I think there are higher chances that the stock should show some sort of corrective move in near term. It's quite possible that 235 to 260 would become a range for the stock now, and the stock would show some consolidation phase from 230 to 260.
Right. Ruchit, just request you to stay on with us. We're taking a break, coming back in 2 minutes. Market closing coming up on the other side of the screen. 9 minutes to go for closing. Nifty is about 40 points on the higher side, 8,698. Not much to read into the market so far. We were talking to Ruchit. He's still with us. Imtiaz is also now joining us. Imtiaz, just before we start, I and Ruchit were just discussing about the metals pack. What is your view on Vedanta and probably Hindustan Zinc, and then we can take the discussion ahead?
Very good afternoon, Pankaj. Yes, we had seen a very good rally in both the stocks. You talk about Vedanta, you talk about Jain India, you talk about Hindustan Zinc. I think so. This first of all, Vedanta and Jain India both are into the mergers, and I think so. This totally going to be showing a good limelight in coming days. Also, base remain very much positive for both the stocks. So I am expecting another 5 to 6% of rally in both the stocks, and the way the base are totally positive. I think so. There would be no hassle if the stocks come down to can be taken as a buy on decline strategy. But if you talk about that metal sector, yes, we have seen a very good rally rally not only in Hindustan Zinc but even in Tata Steel or any other steel sectors also. But if I talk about particularly Hindustan Zinc, yes, the momentum will definitely continue. Today we have just seen some sort of a spurt coming in, but I think so in coming days, maybe in a week or 2 week of time frame, the stock has the potential that it can go up to another 10 to 12% from the current level.
Right. Imtiaz, what will be your view on ICICI Bank? 4% higher right now, almost at the day's high. Imtiaz, your view on ICICI?
I suppose ICICI Bank has already given a breakout at the level of 265, and from there we are seeing the one-way rally coming in. And maybe you can say on an intraday chart, the stock is showing some overbought situation, but still the targets are still pending. I think so. The stock has a potential that it can hit back to 285 to 290. So I will remain positive, but at the current level, I would not give the recommendation for the buy. But if at all the stocks decline back to 270 level, I think so. At that point of time, risk reward ratio become very much favorable, and 275 is a very much equilibrium, you can say support level, and can see maybe in a day or two stocks coming back to 270. At that point of time can be taken as a buy with a stop loss of 260 for the target of 285 to 292.
Right. Ruchit, what is your view on ICICI?
Well, Pankaj, just 285 is a stiff resistance for the stock. If you observe the weekly charts, then around October 2015, the stock had resistance around 285, 286, and from where it corrected up to 180 levels. Again, recent high also, if you see in the during last month, then that it was more or less similar around 285. So unless the stock now goes and crosses this 285, 286 resistance zone, I think the stock it's at current levels definitely there's no good risk reward ratio to go long into. Some sort of corrective action could be seen in the stock, yes, but would like to buy on corrections rather than buying the stock on at current levels.
Axis, what will be your view, Ruchit?
I think in near term the stock should show another leg of corrective move. Probably 510 to 550 is the trading range. I think the stock could trade in near term. Super trend indicator as well as 89 EMA on the daily charts is indicating a minor resistance coming around 550, and the recent lows should provide a support. So I think for short term the stock should consolidate between 510 to 550.
Right. Imtiaz, Axis Bank numbers on Friday, I think on Monday. Any view?
I would definitely wait for the Axis Bank to give a breakout about 556, or maybe you can say 555. Until the stock doesn't go about 555, I would not go anything long on that. But if at all 555 get break on a daily basis or maybe on an intraday basis, on a closing basis, so this will give a big trigger. The way we have seen the rally in last 3 days in ICICI Bank, same amount of rally we would definitely see in Axis Bank, but only above 555. So if at all 55 give me a closing basis, then it's a buy call and can see around 30 to 40 rupees rally in Axis Bank. So only above 555 I'll give initiator of Axis Bank buy.
Right. Imtiaz, I've already taken Ruchit's view on LIC housing. What will be your view on LIC housing?
Almost the stock has given a breakout somewhere around 620, and if at all stock had gone back to 620 and come back to 607, but still the stock has a support around 580. It's a buy on the I think so the stocks maybe retraced because of the corporate actions, you can say the result which has come out for the LIC housing. But yes, I'm recommending these stocks with a stop loss of 580 or maybe around 575 for the target of almost around 640 to 660.
Ruchit, Adani Ports is at 285. It's really been a long time since we have seen this level. Has it gone into a new chart territory and now the targets seem to be much higher?
Yes, Pankaj, the stock has given a breakout today of a consolidation phase. After an uptrend, we have seen the stock since mid of August, I think almost for 1.5 months, had consolidated in the range of 272 to 250. Now, today's trading session, the breakout is there, which indicates that the previous uptrend which we stock in the stock from in the months of May, June and July, that is about to continue. And on the higher side, Minor resistance would be seen around 290, but I think the way volumes have turned out in this stock in last 2-3 trading session, so I think there is higher probability this 290 resistance could be crossed, and once it crosses then that, and I think about 305 could be seen on the stock. So if anyone is anyone wants to take a fresh position in the stock, then definitely a risk reward ratio would be much larger from current levels. One can keep a stop loss below 268, but if anyone is holding the stock, it is wise to continue to hold. If 290 is crossed, then 305 could be seen on the in the stock.
Right, Ruchit, just request you to stay on. Imtiaz, just stay on with us. Markets are about to close. I'll come back to both of you all after that. So if you look at the Nifty 50 and essentially what happened, 41 points high, 8,700. So it was not much that, one could read. It opened gap up 35 points, and then throughout the day it was there and there. Adani Ports, we were just talking about that, 5% higher. Axis Bank 540. Hindalco was up close to 3%, and Bank of Baroda also did well, up about 1.2%. BHEL up close to 1%, 142. Tata Steel up about 0.5%, 427. Bharti Airtel did well, 2 rupees higher, and Tata Power was up about a rupee. ONGC 4 rupees higher, 281. ITC 239. Tata Motors 547, and NTPC 149. HCL Tech 2% down, 814. Reliance Industries down close to 2 rupees. Power Grid 178, and Ambuja Cement was up close to 2 rupees. Z Entertainment 520, it comes in as a welcome relief. Tech Mahindra 425, it's been flat for the last few days, and Infosys at about 4 rupees decline. HDFC Limited 1.5% higher, 1360. BPCL 0.5% higher, 663. Kotak Mahindra Bank 774, and Bharti Infratel down about 2% or so, 366 for Bharti Infratel. Wipro, L&T, IndusInd Bank absolutely flat. Aurobindo Pharma as flat as it can get, and Cipla was at about 597. HUL 0.6% lower, 840. HDFC Bank flat with a negative bias, and TCS was up around 5 rupees. Tata Motors DVR 358, 359. M&M 1325, and Lupin down about 6 rupees. Asian Paints 4 rupees decline. Grasim up about 2 rupees. Maruti up about 0.63, 5,640. That's the closing bell. 41 points higher, 8,700. Top gainer Adani Ports on your screen, 285. Volumes on this name look pretty good, and this name continues to do well. It's a name which has done well. It's a name which continues to do well. ICICI Bank 4.7% higher, 277. 32 million shares traded for ICICI Bank. Very strong move. This is the third or the fourth day in a row that it is doing pretty well. Hindalco up 3%, 155, 156. 8 million shares traded, 4.5 to about 5 rupees higher. 3% for Hindalco, 8 million shares traded, looking in decently strong. Bharti Infratel 2.5% higher, 367, 1.2 million shares traded for Bharti Infratel. Idea was also a part of this list, 2.3% higher, 78.1 for Idea Cellular. Let's look at the losers as well and what's happening over there. So if I look at the losing list and what was top loser. So HCL, the numbers come out tomorrow, pre-market, so it was down around 1.7. Tata Motors DVR, 0.7% decline, 358. HUL was around 0.6% lower, and Sun Pharma was among the top losers. Tata Motors 547, clearly no major changes as far as these names are concerned. Let's look at some of the broader market names, some of the companies that declared numbers as well. So Yes Bank did particularly well. That was a name which declared numbers. Did not do much after the results, but it was up throughout the day today. So that's a name that has done decently well. Yes Bank. Apart from this, LIC Housing Finance declared numbers. That's a name which was slightly soft. Details are weighted about certain products that or certain categories which has led to the loan growth. 8 rupees decline, 4.8 million shares traded, 607 for LIC Housing Finance. RBL Bank, you heard the management on the show. It was up around 5% today. Volumes, of course, because of results, were particularly quite high. Quest Corp, that was up around 10% earlier, but then ended the day about 5% decline. So it was around 4% or 5% of the day's highest point. Tata Coffee, not that great set of numbers, down about 4% for Tata Coffee, 140, 141 for Tata Coffee. Let's go back to both our guests, Ruchit as well as Imtiaz. Both are with us. Imtiaz, let me come to you. Adani Ports, what would be your view?
I think so. Today rally, I would consider the stock has given a breakout. I believe that from last 3 days we had seen the positive trend for the Adani port, but I suppose as of now today closing has given a proper breakout for Adani port. And somewhere around 277 is a very strong support for the stocks for you can say a short-term trader, but not for the long-term trader. But short-term trader, 277 is a very good support. And if at all, if I'm going buy at this point of time, then I'll keep 277 as a stop loss, and really wait for the target of around 310 to 315. That would be the target.
Right. Ruchit, can you look at Kajaria Ceramics? It's not a FNO name. I mean, if you have a view, it was down around 10% today after results.
Pankaj, very difficult to form a view at in this type of chart. If we just exclude today's session, then definitely there was no signs that the stock would correct significantly in one day itself. So it's purely impact of after the results were out in the stock. I think one should still wait for a few more trading sessions now to access, to take a view in the stock, because in today's session, if we observe the volumes, then the volumes were quite high when the stock has corrected now 9 to 10%. But definitely won't be able to make a concrete view on this whether the stock would resume the uptrend or show some more correction from current levels.
Right. Ruchit, Jain Irrigation, any view on this name? It's also another name which has done recently well.
Yes, we have been quite positive in this name since last few weeks. Probably if you observe the positional charts, Pankaj, then from January 2016 to about September 2016, that is for a month of about 7 to 8 months, the stock had seen a consolidation phase, and 77, 78 was a major resistance in this consolidation phase. During the month of August, we saw breakout of that resistance of 78 levels, and after that, the volumes have been quite higher than what was seen during that consolidation phase. So this clearly indicates that post breakout, there's good amount of buying has been seen in the stock. So I think this leads to a good amount of uptrend in the stock, which could lead the stock further higher, at least up to 108 for short-term traders. And in case if anyone can hold the stock for another 4 to 5 months, then I think on the higher side, 120 is also quite possible for this stock. That is 20% up move in next for 4 to 6 months. So one should definitely take a bit positional view in the stock of about next 4 to 5 months and hold on to the stocks. Any kind of corrective move, if it comes, it would be again a buying opportunity in the stock, keeping a target of 120 levels in next 4 to 5 months.
Right. Ruchit, just ahead of numbers, how is Biocon looking?
Yeah, the trend for the stock is quite strong, Pankaj. If you observe the positional charts, longer term charts, then the stock is trading in wave 3 of an impulsive up move. And you should never take an contra position when the stock is trading in a wave 3. In case if any kind of declines comes due to the results, I think that should be used as a buying opportunity itself, since we have not yet seen any sort of consolidation in form of wave 4. So I'm still positive on the stock. The uptrend still remains in the stock, and there are more chances the stock would head higher from current levels also.
Right. Imtiaz, your view on Biocon? Numbers come out tonight or tomorrow before market opens?
I'll definitely wait for the Biocon, because the same structure I can see like how it has been in Axis Bank. I will have almost a 100 and 1006 as a very very big resistance. If tomorrow the stocks open up with a higher high and give a price maintain about 1005 or 6, then definitely this will turn to be a very big positive for the Biocon and would see a very big rally coming in. Maybe that rally would go around 50-60 rupees more higher from that level. But as of now, for me, the trend is negative, and I'll wait for 1006 to give a breakout for the positive buy.
Right. Ruchit, very quickly, any view on Delta Corp?
Well, the trend for the stock is still positive. We have seen good amount of volumes in the recent up move, and today's move also indicates that this uptrend could continue. Difficult to come out with the exact target, since we have seen the stock is trading at its all-time high levels. But I think unless the stock again now goes below 160 levels, one should remain invested in the stock.
Right. Ruchit, Imtiaz, thank you so much for taking out time for us. Hope to see you again quite soon. Taking a break, coming back in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Lots more lined up on the other side of this break.